Hello, my name is Naomi and I'm a SENDIST officer. Today I will be going through the form you would use to appeal information within your Education, Health and Care Plan, which could also be called an EHCP or an EHC plan. Within today's presentation, I will explain how you can appeal against Section B of the EHCP, where it describes the needs of the child, Section F, where the support for the child is listed, and Section I, where the school the child is expected to attend will be named. You can also appeal Section C and D of the EHCP, where the health and social care needs are outlined. The form you will need to complete for these reasons will be called SEND35. The top of the form will look like this. The first page of the form gives you information around appealing. If we move on to page 2, section 1 asks for information around the child whose EHCP you are appealing against. You will need to tick if the appeal is regarding a child under the age of 16 or between 16 and 25. Then complete the rest of the child's personal details as requested. So within section 2 of the form, they wanted a little bit more information in relation to your appeal. So the first 6 boxes on the form are asking at what stage of your EHCP you are at. So in relation to your appeal, it's only going to be the box 2 or box 4. So box 2 is if an EHCP is brand new. So this is your first EHCP and you're unhappy with some of the information on there. The fourth box would be if you've had an EHCP previously, but this is following an annual review meeting of that Education, Health and Care Plan and you're unhappy with some of the information in there. So that's when that box would be appropriate. If we then look at the next 3 set of boxes, this is asking what you are appealing against within the EHCP. So is it sections B, F or I? So B is where it outlines the needs of the young person within the EHCP. F is the support that they're putting in place for your young person, and then I would be the school that they would be wanting the young person to attend. So you can tick multiple boxes in here depending on what's relevant for your appeal. And then the bottom box is if the local authority have not named a school within section I. So it could be blank, or it could be that they've named a type of school. So they might have named mainstream or specialist provision, but not actually named a school placement. If we now move to the top of page 3, this section is only relevant if you are appealing for a different school to be named on the plan. If you have a school that you wish to be named within the plan, you would add the details of the school here. And underneath you will see it asks if the school has been contacted. You can add within here the details if you have contacted them and also the date that the local authority contacted them to see if your child could be placed within a setting. If you're not sure on an exact date, you could say, for example, January 2024. If you're only appealing sections B and F of the EHCP, then you can leave this section blank. So the next box asks if you cannot name a school to describe a type of school that you feel would be suitable for your child. So if there's not a specific setting that you have identified, you can name a type of setting here. So this could be either specialist or mainstream. You can then also describe what you feel the setting may look like to best meet your child's needs. So for example, it may be smaller class sizes, have a secure play area, for example. If you are only appealing either sections B and F, again, you do not need to complete this box. However, the next question is relevant for all appeals. So at the bottom of this page, it asks if there are any health or social care needs that you are unhappy with within the EHCP. So the information about health and social care needs will be within sections C and D of the EHCP, and you have an opportunity to challenge these if you wish. If you want some advice on this, please give us a call or email us and we can discuss this further with you. Page 4 starts with section 3, and the first box will be completed for all types of appeals. So here you would explain why you are appealing. You may say something along the lines of you're unhappy with the school named and you feel that the child needs a different type of provision, or you may say that you feel the support within the plan is unsuitable to meet your child's needs. Just to make you aware, if you are typing within these boxes on the form, the boxes do not expand. So if you do wish to type more than the box allows you to, have a separate document open, which you can expand on, but then make sure it's really clear which boxes you are expanding on within this document. You would then send that document off with this appeal form. So if we look at the next 2 boxes, these are if you are appealing sections B or F of the EHCP or both. So the first of the 2 boxes says, I disagree with the description of special educational needs. So this is the information within section B of your EHCP. So if you are unhappy with anything, feel it needs to be changed or added in, you would write that information within here. And the same for the next box down, where you disagree with the specification of special educational provision. So this is within section F, so the support that they're putting in place for your child. You would write anything you disagree with in this section. So the next box asks what the local authority have not considered. So this is relevant for all types of appeals. Within here, you would say what you believe that the local authority have not considered when making decisions that they have made within your EHCP. So for example, if you're unhappy with the type of setting, as you feel that your child would not cope within this setting, then you could explain that you feel that the local authority have not considered that your child may not be able to manage. The next two boxes offer appeals relating to section I, which is where the school is named. So the first two of the boxes, you would explain why the school named within the EHCP would be inappropriate for your child. And then within the second box, the bottom one on the page, you would explain why the school you have chosen would be more suitable. If you were unable to name a specific school, then you would add here why you think the type of school you are requesting would be best for your child. If we now move on to page 5, which starts with section 4, these boxes would only need to be completed if you have ticked that you felt there needed to be changes made to the health or social care needs listed within the plan. If you are not requesting this, then please just leave these boxes empty. If you are appealing these sections, please follow the questions above the boxes explaining why you disagree with the sections and what information you feel should be within the EHCP within these different sections. So if we go on to page 6, which starts with section 5, the first box asks which local authority you're appealing against. So this would be Doncaster that you would be appealing against. Then the next box asks for the date that is on the decision letter with your right of appeal. So when you received your latest EHCP, you would have had a letter come with it explaining your right of appeal. Please use the date from this letter within this box. So the bottom half of this page talks about appeals being made late or without a mediation certificate. You have 2 months from the date on your letter to appeal, so hopefully you have managed to complete this form within that time. However, if you are out of the deadline, you can explain why here, and the tribunal will consider if they would log your appeal. However, there is a chance that they could refuse to log this, with it being outside of the deadline of time to appeal. Regarding a mediation certificate, if you are only appealing section I, the school named on the plan, then you would not need a mediation certificate, so you can leave this blank. However, if you are appealing other sections of the plan, such as B and F, then you would need to request a mediation certificate. The details for mediation will be on the letter from the local authority, and you can contact mediation to request a certificate. If we move on to page 7, which starts with section 6, this is asking for your personal details. So please complete these and ensure that the email address is correct, as this is how they will communicate with you. On to page 8, which starts with section 7, this is asking if there is anyone else that isn't listed that has parental responsibility for the child, or if there is any other courts or tribunals taking place. If this is not relevant to your appeal, please leave them blank. On the second half of this page, you will see information about an advocate. And an advocate would normally be used when a young person is making an appeal and they need someone to come with them to the tribunal to explain their views. And if you are a parent or carer making an appeal, this would not be relevant to you. Over onto the next page, you are asked if you have a representative. Now, a representative may be a solicitor or someone to attend the tribunal on your behalf. If you are wanting to attend the tribunal and do not have a solicitor, then you would tick no. So under this section, you are asked who should receive information about the appeal. So if you've listed 2 parents on the form, we would advise for you to tick both parent 1 and 2 so that you both have copies of all the information sent from tribunal. And if for any reason one doesn't come through or it's accidentally deleted, then you have a spare. If we move on to page 10, which starts with section 8, this asks for some personal details about you to see if you have any needs or require an interpreter. So below this you will see section 9, where you are first of all asked if the tribunal agrees. Do you agree that the appeal can be determined on written evidence without an oral hearing? So we would advise for you to tick no for this, so that you have an opportunity to attend a hearing and give your views to why you feel that the appeal you have made is necessary. The next box asks if you'd be happy to bring your appeal date forward if an earlier date becomes available. If you would like your appeal to be processed as soon as possible, we would advise you to click yes. Again, you are asked if there are any existing claims for your child or siblings, so you can add the appeal number within the box provided if there are. So if we move on to page 11, which begins with section 10, you are provided a checklist of things to tick to check that you are ready to log your appeal. Firstly, you are asked if you have a signed, dated copy of the letter that came with the latest EHCP, which gives you your right of appeal. If you do not have this letter, you will not be able to appeal. If you have the letter, please tick the first box on the checklist. The second box is checking if you have a mediation certificate, and as I explained earlier, this would only be relevant if you are appealing sections B and F of the EHCP. If you are only appealing section I, you can leave this blank, but if you are appealing sections B or F or B and F, please make sure you have a mediation certificate and then tick this box. The next box is asking if you have your reasons for making this appeal. So you would tick this one as we have outlined these earlier within the form. The fourth box asks for you to send a copy of your latest EHCP. To be appealing, you have to have this, and you can either scan the document or take photos of this and add the photos to the email that you will send to tribunal. And then the last thing on the checklist is for the form to be signed and dated, which you will do below, so you can also check this box. Under section 11, you will need to sign the document, and if there is another person's details on the form, they will also need to sign this, and then date the form under your signature. Section 12 gives you the details of where you will send the final appeal form to. You can either email this to them, which we recommend as it's the quickest and most reliable way, or you can post the form. If you do this, we recommend you asking for it to be tracked so you can prove if it was delivered. If you do post the form, please make sure that you send them copies of the documents. Do not send them originals, as you will not get them back from tribunal. On page 12, you will see a table, and this is where you would list the additional documents to send to tribunal. For all appeals, you would need to send a copy of the EHCP and the letter that came with the EHCP. If you're also appealing sections B and F of the EHCP, you would also need to send a copy of the mediation certificate. Tribunal have written an example of how they would like these documents to be logged within this table. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helped you to complete Form 35. If you've got any questions or need any help with this process, please do contact us on the details below. Thank you.